We already covered Alaska. Now we're moving on to Alabama. Alabama. How does Alabama put measures on the ballot? Alabama is a state that does not allow citizens to have the option to place initiatives on the ballot, be they to pass their own laws or to ratify the Constitution to their own amendments. Only the legislature can pass laws independent of voter involvement and place initiatives on amending the legislative initiatives within the Alabama Constitution. So, in order for this to happen, to put a legislatively referred constitutional amendment before the voters, you need 60% vote, and it is required in both the Alabama State Senate and the House of Representatives. They had one that passed in March, and then I'll show you the one for November that's coming up. In March, Alabama had Amendment 1, exempt local bills from budget isolation resolution. This measure failed by 51.31%. A yes vote supported exempting local laws or local constitutional amendments from the budget isolation resolution process. Now, this requires that the legislature must pass education and general fund budgets prior to enacting any other legislation, unless the legislation receives 60% majority vote from the legislature. State Senator Clyde Chambliss Jr. supported this measure. And one of the arguments in support of it, he said it definitely is what we call inside baseball, and most folks won't necessarily understand that. It just removes one of those, in my opinion, unnecessary hurdles that has really had no effect on legislation. No one opposed it, and there was no money spent to support or oppose it, no campaign finance money. Now, what is going to be on the ballot November? Alabama allow Franklin County Board of Education to manage, sell, or lease land in Franklin County school system. Okay. This is on the ballot November 5th, 2024. A yes vote supports allowing Franklin County Board of Education to manage, sell, or lease lands or natural resources from the land within the Franklin County school system that's located in Walker and Fayette County. So, what would this amendment do? It goes on to say, any proceeds generated by the sale or lease of the land or its resources will be deposited in the Franklin County Board of Education General Fund. What are the different type of school lands? You can do a little bit here. I want to highlight if I can. There we go. 16th section lands are school lands donated to the state by the U.S. government. 16th section lands can be sold or exchanged by the Commissioner of the State Department of Conservation and Natural Resources with the approval of the Governor and the State Superintendent of Education. Other types of school property include local Board of Education property, which is owned by the local county or city Board of Education. The sale of these lands does not involve the state. And then you have state-owned school property, which is owned by the state, is effectively a trust, where the state is the trustee with decision-making authority, while the county or city Board of Education is the beneficiary. So if the property is sold by the state, the proceeds go to the county or the city Board of Education. Who's supporting this right now? State Representative Jamie Keel. Right now, currently, there is no campaign finance money to support or oppose it. That could change as you get closer to November. And a little note here from Roger Meadows, who Roger really helps me with these ballot measures. He said he has a real problem with laws and amendments, whether proposed by voters or state government, that applies exclusively and only to a specific municipality. State laws and amendments should be something that applies to an entire state and not to a specific municipality. If anything, allow municipalities to be able to decide for themselves through municipal ballot measures and local government. What goes on at some school district in one part of the state should not be decided by those who are not from there. I 100% agree with Roger about this. I have personal experience with this with the hometown of Freeport. The government decided against having an Amazon facility replace a green space that was used by Freeport High School to practice sports. Then the assemblywoman and the state senator whose district that is within sponsored a bill passed into law to circumvent that victory. Some state senator, assembly member whose district is upstate or in New York City or in another part of the county had a say in what goes on in a place that has no bearing on them. I totally hear where Roger's coming from about that. I'm not a fan of that either. And another reason is because I'm sorry, but when you don't live in that municipality, like, you don't know the needs of the people that are in that area. So I don't like when that happens either. So that is Alabama ballot measure for November. The next ballot measure that we will cover is California. So get ready and get cozy, because California usually has a lot. So we'll probably split that up over a couple of nights. If I remember it from last time, California usually has a lot. So just keep that in mind. California will be next. We're going through all the state ballot measures for November. What is a fruit fly? For November 2024. So these are other ways that I think people should take action, right? So you don't have to just come out and support the presidential election. I think these ballot measures are incredibly important.